Every breath is life, every moment precious, when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious, when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious, when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Is holy. Every step is holy. Every breath is life. Every moment precious, when held up to the light. Every heart connected, each the face of God. Grace has shown me every step is holy. Holy, holy, Every step is holy. Every step is holy. Every step is holy.
Every step is holy. I can play this song over and over and over again and sing along louder and louder. That was Karen Drucker. Every step is holy. So welcome everybody to Center for Spiritual Living, Morristown. I'm Frankie Timmers, and I'm so happy to be with you in person. And I'm so happy for those of you that are online. We have no idea who that is, but you're welcome. Forgive me for, I drooled on myself this morning. I know some of you can't tell, but I can tell. So a little, something delicious just fell out of my mouth. That's how delicious life is, really, right? So we have this beautiful theme for the year called A Grand Rising. And here we are in May. Goodness gracious. And so the theme for May is from good to great to grand. And today's topic is step by step. So we have the amazing Susan Neat with us to do a little surprising experience very soon. And Andrew Dunn was supposed to be with us today, but he had to move his schedule, so he'll be with us later in the month. So let's start with our Namaste practice, where we put our hands together. And first I want you to close your eyes for a moment, because Namaste is just one word, but the translation, and there are many of them, but the translation that we use is divinity in me blesses the divinity in you. So just for a moment, just prepare for this greeting, knowing that it is the divinity within us that is greeting and noticing the divinity in another. But also the other way around. It's where we are being seen for who and what we really are, which can truly be a healing moment, a holy moment. So now open your eyes and just bow to someone and say Namaste. 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 That's a lot of namaste. So you're all like filling up and spilling over. And I love it. Another way of drooling, right? So let's treat our word for affirmative prayer. So in this very moment, as we withdraw our attention from the outer world by closing our eyes, all of a sudden we enter in a more conscious way, in a more holy way, that inner world that is rich with spirit, that is rich with our awareness that we are spirit individualized, that is rich on the receiving end of truth with a capital T, of infinite unconditional love with a capital L. And so life has been given to us to notice what that bumps into. And here we can literally choose from moment to moment to moment to let go, to release, and to receive that divine love, that divine wisdom that is ever present within us. So today we're learning about just taking one step, just one little step. And that when we keep taking that one step, what happens is it dissolves and we experience that greater freedom that we all have already tasted, that we all have already come to know in different ways in different areas of our lives. And so we realize that that life has been given to us to continue to open and to free ourselves to this infinite idea called divine love, divine grace, divine wisdom, divine light, divine joy. And that continuum in itself is a gift and a blessing. And so when the ego mind wants to limit that, it's another opportunity to just open and receive the grace that is ever available. So we explore that today with our topic, step by step, knowing that as we enter, we're not the same person that leaves today, because the person that leaves today has shifted in consciousness with the awareness around that one step. And so we are blessed to be together, blessed to be witnessing this live stream, whether it's today or any time in the future, and blessed to be a spiritual community that we are. And so it is.
So it is.
So today, I like doing things differently because I love change. I know that's not always true and not for everybody, but I love mixing it up. So today, we're going to start with Susan doing a little practice, a little guided meditation, and have a little bit of fun with us. And Susan will be available after celebration for our Treatment Express. Treatment Express is where you get to have a taste of what it's like to receive a spiritual mind treatment from a licensed practitioner. They're trained to be of service to you in a professional way. And it's just a little taste, a little snippet. If you want more, you'll have to make an appointment with them. And the beauty is that we have practitioners here and practitioners of Princeton. They're always available. So Susan, come on up.
Thank you, Reverend Frankie. First and foremost, I want to thank you all, because by you being here, I can be here. And I always find it such a blessing to be in this space. Center for Spiritual Living Morristown is such a heartfelt community, and I always feel so welcome. So thank you for that. And I love the theme this month, From Good to Great to Grand. So I'm going to take you on a little journey, and then afterwards we're going to play baseball. So the journey is about that first step. So I invite you to find that space where you feel safe and supported by your chair. Close your eyes and just start by breathing. Slow, deep breaths. And the first few words I speak will be in the first person so that you can take them as your own. I recognize that there is one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence. And I know that that intelligence, that power, that presence is expressing itself right here, right now, as me and during this process. And I accept the inspiration, the insight that I receive from this knowing of this truth during this process. I am open to receive. I am listening. So as we sit in this space of openness, of listening, just be with that quiet listening. And now I would like you to consider, and please know that when we do these processes, typically the first thing that comes to your mind is the perfect thing for you to consider. So what in your world right now, is there some place or something that you would like to accomplish? Some greater good that you would like to receive? Some moving forward from this point to another point? Some growth opportunity knocking at your door? So whatever thought arises first, just think about that. What is it that you wish to accomplish? Where would you like to step towards? And then as you consider this moving forward, this stepping toward, what gifts do you know? Because we all have gifts and you are all so gifted. What gifts do you have that you can utilize, these divine gifts, toward moving toward this one new idea, this new vision that you have, this something that you wish to accomplish? Acknowledge those gifts. There are many. And then express gratitude for this gift after gift that you possess. Feel that power within, that unlimited power, that unlimited potential for your unlimited gifts. And now as you consider this vision, this idea, this step forward that you wish to take, consider, are there any blocks, any false beliefs that you might feel could hinder this step? And that's fine. This is just information that you are gaining. Any blocks, any false beliefs, just observe them, no judgment, and then express gratitude for them. For that provides information for your moving forward. Thank you for all that has come to me today during this. And now, in moving toward your vision, considering all that has been brought forward to you as you sat and listened, ask Spirit, what would be the best first step for me to take to accomplish this grand idea that I've come up with today? One small first step toward reaching your goal, and listen for the answer. And breathe into this idea again as you think of this one small step, that there is unlimited potential, and we only have to take one small step to open ourselves to receive it, and make a covenant with yourself and Spirit to take this one small step from this point forward toward that vision. And hold your hands to your heart center as you make that covenant to take that one small step. And as you sit there, express thanks to your inner guide, to your inner wisdom, to that Christ consciousness within, for providing any insight that you have received today. Thank you. I am open and willing and ready to move forward, one step at a time. And I am ready and willing to take this one small step. And now just breathing naturally and breathing comfortably, moving your body in such a way that you can bring yourself back to the space. And when you are ready, open your eyes. And so, as we move forward, there's something that we do in our teaching that we've talked about called outlining. And that is an interesting idea. And then there's also something called treating, moving our feet. I like to say treating, listening, and then moving our feet. So I'm going to do a little baseball metaphor. Excuse me, I got to get ready for the game. I did play baseball on our church team. I was the pitcher and the left fielder.
Whoa. Right.
I was unstoppable. Wow. In my dreams. So, I'm taking a step up to the plate. Stepping up to the plate. What's the first step? I've got the bat in my hand. The ball's coming at me. What's the first step?
Check your stance.
My next step, keep my eye on
The ball.
The ball.
my next step,
Swing.
Swing.
and then
Hit the ball.
connect. And in my head, and I imagine anybody that's ever played the game of kickball or baseball, you want to hit a home run, right? You're up there, you're going to hit the ball, and you're going to go all the way to the home run. So you get up to bat, and I swing, and it's a single. I run to first base. Okay. I'm ready. And the next person gets up and hits a single. I run to second base. And then the next person gets up and hits a,
Single.
and now I'm on third base. And the next person gets up and hits a grand slam.
Right.
So, what does that show us? I was outlining that I wanted to hit that home run. But was that for the highest good of my team if I hit that home run? Who knows? But now we have 4 runs. 4 runs because I took that one step to first base. I didn't get all the way to the end to the home run. But it didn't matter. And sometimes we outline where we have this idea that this step and then this step and then this step and then this step. So what I like to say is we treat, we listen, and then we take the step. When we outline the steps, we close ourselves off to infinite possibilities. We're not open to receiving, and sometimes it doesn't go the way we expect. So what I invite you to think about with your first step is when you are successful in stepping forward with this one step that we came up with today, I invite you to then treat again. What's the next best step moving forward? And listen. Namaste.
Is that a Phillies hat?
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Especially
South Jersey.
Philly fans. I am not at all understanding baseball language, so forgive me, but I got that metaphor. That was wonderful, and so was the meditation. Thank you so much. You look mighty cute.
Brought me back to my youth.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sayings with the word step, right? Step up to the plate. Did you hear that one? What else do we know with the word step in it? A lot of prepositions.
One step for mankind, or you?
One step for mankind.
Baby step.
Baby steps.
Baby step. Step up to the plate.
Step up to the plate.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Famous one. Step in, step up, step out, step forward, step back, step over, step under. Right? There's so many of them. And so I want you to stand for a moment. There isn't much room, but you don't need much room. So move any way you can just so you can take one step. Some of you, that means you just have to go sideways, right? So close your eyes, take a breath. Open your eyes and just take one step. Close your eyes, take a breath. Just feel that you just took one step. Now open your eyes and take a seat. That was so hard. I bet that all of you struggled like crazy.
I got lost.
You got lost, right? Maybe you realize that you really didn't even have to think, right? When I say take one step,
Right.
did you have to like, oh my God, this is so hard. What if it doesn't work? What if it isn't enough? That part of our inner voice is our ego voice. The ego voice, the human voice, the lower self loves to make things difficult. That's its default. It is our natural way of being, our essential beingness that doesn't even have to think. Right? And so I want you to really think about the difference as you listened to Susan and as you're listening today, because on the spiritual path, we are only asked to take one step. It's the ego mind that says, yeah, but what if that one step, if I don't get over there a mile away? What if I don't make it? What if I fall? What if I fail? What if people see me and they judge me how I walk? All this stuff that happens in our mind, that kind of vomity feeling, is the ego mind, and it's based on what? Fear, right? And so we want to notice the part of us that takes one step, that doesn't even think about it, and the part of us that's overthinking it all the time. We're only asked to take one step at a time. One. And when we listen, and when we take a breath, it is so much easier to take another step, right? And so this whole idea of just taking one step is when we are spiritual, on the spiritual path, our step is about the direction of our greater vision. And I don't know what your vision was when Susan led us so beautifully, but mine was for absolute freedom. And what the step was to let go. Right? And so letting go is something that we have to practice all the time. It's not just one time. You know, it's kind of like we can think about when we were first learned to walk, right? We take one step and boom, we're on our ass. There's nobody around us that said, well, give up. You took one step, you didn't do it right. You just sit there for the rest of your life and don't move. No, we just keep taking that one step until walking is second nature. I mean, none of us have to really think about when we get up in the morning and get out of bed or walk to our car to come here, to think about it's like, oh my gosh, okay, one step, now I gotta take another step. I don't know. No, we just do it, right? It's the same. And when it comes to our spiritual nature, when we trust the divinity already within us, when we let go of overthinking, when we let go of fear. And so you may have noticed times in your life where you were terrified to take that one step, which, by the way, is very natural because the ego self is what?
Fear.
It's filled with fear. Yes, it's just afraid. So we need to really notice that, right? And so maybe you know some people that are stuck. Maybe you know some people that have been stuck in the same story from their past. Or they're stuck in a particular condition. Or they're stuck because of a belief, a limiting belief. And I think it's really helpful for us ourselves to kind of notice where we feel a little bit cranky, a little bit stuck, a little bit afraid, and to actually work with that instead of having it work us. And so I want to talk a little bit about fear, because in spiritual circles, fear gets a really bad rap, right? Because it's a sense of separation from our true nature, from our divine nature. And not all fear is conscious. I'm not aware of certain fears that I might have, but it's through my spiritual practices and through my journaling and through my listening that I begin to notice, because I'm willing to explore where I feel a sense of separation, the areas in my life where I might be struggling, whether it's in the moment or in general, and then I'm willing to ask myself, what am I so afraid of? And that is a very important aspect of our spiritual path, because we don't just have a responsibility to ourselves, we have a responsibility to the team, which is the collective consciousness. I'm going to come back to that. So when you think about the kind of form fear takes, what comes to mind? Maybe you know of yourself, or maybe you know this for others. What kind of form does fear take? What happens when people feel fear, whether they're conscious of it or not?
Freeze.
They freeze.
Procrastination.
They procrastinate.
Resistance.
They feel resistance.
Stop moving.
Stop moving.
Defensive.
Get defensive.
They act out.
They act out.
Sleep.
Sleep.
Eat.
Eat, drink, sex, sugar, whatever it may be, right? Addictions are a big part of that, right? So what if, and by the way, all of that is clinging to our ego nature, because the ego nature is saying, just stay here because it's safe over here. It's our ego nature that wants to protect, that wants to hide, that wants to defend, that wants to not move. And it's so important to notice that, because that's where our freedom is. So what if we decide that we're going to make friends with our fears? What if we decide to make fear our superpower? And as I said before, a lot of the times we're not quite aware of what our fears are. But once we make peace with our fears and we love ourselves through the fears, it can become our friend, because it's a guidance system. So there's a wonderful article in this month's magazine, Science of Mind magazine, we have a few left, by Dennis Merritt Jones. He's a wonderful, wonderful colleague. We kind of started at this similar time. He wrote a new book. All of his books are fantastic. And his new book is called When Fear Speaks, Listen. The 7 Messages of Fear. I hear a buzzing. I'm trying to just unplug for a moment. I have good ears. And what I love about this article, and what I love even more, is to turn this off. Can you all hear that? I'm like, it's annoying, right? What I love about his writing and his new book, and he hasn't written any books for a while, but all of his books are wonderful, is that he talks about this whole idea that fear has gotten a bad rap, especially in spiritual circles. And fear is just showing us where we feel a sense of separation from our spirit, from our soul, from our true nature. And so it behooves us, instead of running from it or being afraid of it, to notice it and to embrace it and to choose to take one step into the direction of our vision, of our true nature, of what it is that we would love. And so in a way, we are going to use this idea that fear can be our friend and doesn't have to inhibit us. Even if we're not conscious of having any fears, befriending our fear nature, our ego nature that feels separate from our spirit, just setting the intention allows for the fears to dissolve, or they rise to our conscious mind and we go, who knew? I never realized that I was carrying that fear around. So it makes our fears conscious, right? And so in the article, he talks about using fear as a guidance system. That the fear is really actually telling us the next step to take. It doesn't say the next 10 steps. It doesn't say the next mile and a half. It says the next step. Just the next step is all we're asked to take. And so it's the ego nature that does all kinds of crazy stuff with that. But it's our spirit, our soul nature that says, yay, we're doing it! How fun! This is my next step towards a greater sense of freedom in whatever area of our lives. And we have that responsibility because we are on a spiritual path. So if we call ourselves spiritual beings and we say we're on a spiritual path, we have a responsibility to heal our fears, because every fear that we have goes into a pot. And we can think of that pot as the collective consciousness. And then the collective shows it back to us. So when you watch the news, you will see your fears. They're in there somehow. And there's the invitation to resolve that. Because what are we noticing the most when we watch the news is a divided country, right? Where do you think that comes from? A divided nature within ourselves. And we can bitch about it, complain about it, judge it, make some people wrong and other people right, or we can say, what is my part in healing that division, in healing that sense of separation? And for some people that just means to treat 10 times a day. And for some of you it means to become more active. And for some of you that may mean to go to a protest. Or for some of you may mean to heal a relationship that has been a burden, right? That inner guidance system will tell us. And the great news is that when we ask the question of what is ours to be, what is mine to do, the answers are usually very simple. They're so simple that our human ego mind will dismiss them. So when you did the practice, the vision was freedom, and the answer was let go. Let go, yeah, I got that one. I know that. And walk away from it. Instead, it's like, what do I need to let go of here and now? What do I need to let go of when it comes to my health? What do I need to let go of when it comes to my relationships? What do I need to let go of when it comes to abundance? What do I need to let go of, right? Because there's so many areas where we can let go, and that's the next step, is let go. And so one of the things that we learned in The Untethered Soul, which was such a fabulous book, The Untethered Soul by Michael Singer, and I taught it, we did a book discussion one last time, and we've done it 3 times, where he gives a very, very, very simple solution. And I laugh at myself because I watch myself fight with the simplicity of the information in the book. The information in the book, the basic message is, notice what you notice, and when you feel resistance, relax and release it. How can it be that simple? And how does my ego mind, my human mind, say it can't be that simple? And what is that about, right? And so notice what you notice. When you feel resistance, which is another form of fear, right? Let it go. It's just an energy that's passing through us that we are ready to let go of, because it doesn't connect with or belong to our true nature, to our spirit, to our soul. And we just let it go. It's like gas. It's like a fart. Right? That's all it is. But then what the ego mind does is it has to create a whole story around it and a whole drama around it and a whole layers of difficulty. And then we have to go into therapy and we have to read more books and take more classes and watch more videos, spend more time on Facebook, all those things, right? Just to not be in the simplicity that is available to us in each breath, with one step in each moment. And so, for some people, that one step is waiting. But it's the kind of waiting that is very important for us to understand. Because sometimes we're just waiting to feel better, waiting for the political picture to change, waiting for someone to die or get better, waiting to win the lottery, waiting for things to change, right? So we want to pay attention to that, because the only waiting is an inner waiting for that next step, for when to take that next step, for how to take that next step, because there's a very subtle experience in just being and just waiting and just listening until it's time to take a step. It has a very different quality. It has the quality of faith instead of the quality of fear. And you know the difference already because you are that aware. And so one of the reasons that we want to be aware that the step that we take, that one step, is not just for ourselves, is because we are part of a collective. And I love that you used that idea of when you were doing your baseball, I don't know the language, your baseball thingy, that you became aware that it was for the good of the team. And when we think about the good of the team, we want to think about for the good of humanity. Sometimes it's hard for me to take one step. But if I remember that I'm taking that one step that is for my highest and best, not just for myself, but for all of humanity, as an example, because it's my responsibility about being on a spiritual path, otherwise I might as well step off of it, right? Is to remember that we're doing it for the whole, and that it's not just about surviving or figuring out how to thrive. It's not just about healing for myself. It's about being a part of creating a world that works for everyone, which is the beautiful vision that Centers for Spiritual Living as an organization holds and believes in. So somebody said this already. Over half a century ago, when Neil Armstrong stepped onto the moon, he said what?
One step
One step
for
for
man,
giant step for
For mankind.
Yeah, that's, yes, that's what he said. He said, that is one step, small step for man, but one giant leap for mankind. You know, that's not what he said. He believes that what he said, he says, that was a small step for a man. The word was in there.
A man.
A man, yes. And I thought that was interesting when I was looking that up. He said that was a small step for a man, for one man, but it's a giant leap for mankind. If we can think about that the one step that we can take from that place of the highest and best, our true nature, that one step truly is a giant leap for humankind, for all beings. And that we get to be that example. And what does that mean? What does that look like? What if you take one new step today from that higher vision, from that higher truth, from what maybe you heard when Susan led us through that guided meditation. And we keep taking that one step until it becomes second nature, just like what I had everybody do. A natural step, a natural way of being. So I'm very aware that some people might say, I just cannot do that. I just cannot. I just won't. I'm not ready. I'm afraid. And maybe it's time to explore the reasons for that. Because sometimes we say, I can't, I won't, I'm afraid, and we don't even know exactly why. So we want to first become aware of that. If that happens, find someone that's a half a step ahead of you. 20 some years ago, when I met my meditation teacher, my Sufi sheikh, that's the thing he said. Always have somebody in your life that's a half a step ahead of you. And let them be your guide. And I'm so grateful that I've had that for over 20 years. Because that's in my mind all the time. When I practice my meditation, which is part of their group meditation, that's my awareness. That's my guide. That's my motivation for healing the stuff that gets in the way, stuff that I struggle with, I'm afraid of. And so make sure that you have somebody that's a half step ahead of you. There are 500 licensed practitioners in the world that you can reach out to. There's a World Ministry of Prayer that's free that you can reach out to. There are practitioners here, Gail, Susan, myself, that can support you. I'm always surprised how few people take advantage of practitioners. I have 3 weekly. I need them very much. They happen to be prayer partners. But if I need a licensed practitioner, then it's money well spent. And so we want to make sure that we take advantage of that. And if you haven't ever done that, Susan is here today with her little mini treatments and Treatment Express. So let's close our eyes for a moment. Take a breath, relax, and allow to have come to mind that answer to the questions that Susan asked. That highest vision for yourself, that deepest longing. If it's not simple, it's not the answer. So just pick one. Love, freedom, joy, peace, harmony. And just let everything else go. And then ask yourself, what is one step I can take into the direction of my highest vision for myself? And again, a covenant, a vow, a promise to yourself to take steps every day into the direction of your highest vision. And let that be your contribution to being a part of creating a world that works for everyone. It doesn't require any judgment, any shame, any fear, any anxiety, any worry, because it is now your guidance system. It is now guiding you with every breath, every heartbeat. And every step is made easy as the step you took earlier physically. And so say, hello, my new friend. Hello, my new friend. Thank you for being there with me. If none of this is new to you, just let yourself see it in a new way. A new way. A new way.
I'll start from the beginning.
Goldberg. Isn't that a cool song? One step. So I hear there was a really fun potluck happening here on Friday night. And Val took a picture and sent it to me. I was just tickled because the joy was just coming right off the picture. So I'm so glad. I'm sure we'll have more.
The food was off the charts.
The food was off the charts. Ooh, I love hearing that. So we have 2 events coming up that I want you to know about. The first one is a concert. We've had a Fold Project concert here before that was so much fun. We're going to be in the sanctuary at Brookside Church. And you need to get your tickets, and you get those on Breeze. It's going to be with Circle Around the Sun and the Maledictorians. And it's on June 22nd. It's a Saturday night at 7 p.m. And I would love for you to take extra flyers. They're over here, and I think there's some on the way out, and post them anywhere that you can. And then we have Patrick Harbula, I always say his name wrong, Harbula coming back in June. And I'm so grateful that Jean is hosting them. And it's going to be a workshop called Busting Loose from the Money Game, which is one of his awesome books. It's a Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. So grab flyers for that as well. And we have a little sign-up sheet coming around because that was an idea that was presented at our annual meeting. Almost all of us love social hour, right? Most of us love social hour. Well, guess what? We have no fairies coming in doing it. So you get to make it happen. So 2 people can sign up, you can do it together, and there are all kinds of dates available. So I invite you to, I need a pen, because I don't have a pen. I invite you to, thank you, to sign up for that if this is something you would like to do. And I'll take today off. Oops, there we go. I'll pass this around if somebody wants to do social hour. And now we will have, oh, there's pens in here. We'll have our offertory. What I really love about the offertory is that now people give online, they do PayPal, they do Venmo, we even have QR codes for that. Some of you really like to give on a Sunday, so there's some envelopes in here. There are many different ways to give, volunteering, donations, and all of it we welcome because we continue to affirm that we are living an abundant life as a community. I personally love text to give. It's so fun because there's always when I put in a text and I get a lovely little note back and a little bleep. So some of you like to do that. You can find out how to do that by the little sheets that are by the bookshelf over there. But if people want to give today, you can give using an envelope or whatever you like, and then just pass the basket around. And let's do an affirmation together. Let's close our eyes for a moment and just put your hand on your heart and just feel your gratitude for being part of this community. And then just be aware that there is this lovely law of circulation that bonds together the word giving, receiving. And we've heard this saying so many times, as I give, I receive. So just for a moment, notice how you withhold, in what ways you withhold, whether it's your giving today or just in general. And just remember that that's just fear, and that in this moment you're ready to release that. And you're ready to be in the flow of abundance in all of its many forms. And so repeat after me. I am ready to take one step into the greater flow of infinite abundance. I leave behind any belief in lack and limitation, whether conscious or not. And I am free, right here and right now. And so it is. I don't know why that made me giggle, but I love doing affirmations. All right, so now our beloved Susan will bless us with a closing treatment. And thank you, everybody, for being here today and being online.
Isn't it so yummy being here?
Yes.
So let's close our eyes. And we know that there is one creative power for good. We know there is one infinite mind that knows all. We know that we are expressing the peace, the poise, the power, the joy, the beauty. And we know that every step we take is guided. So as we sit here and as we prepare to move forward toward our vision, we know that guidance is ever present. We know that divine right action is our action. We know that our speak is God's speak. We know that clarity is present because the infinite mind that knows all is the mind in which we work. And we accept the power. We accept the intelligence that is unlimited. And we know that this unlimited potential is ours to create in tandem with Spirit. So as each one sits here, it is apparent that God is in action. And there is always divine right order to each step, no matter how small. Each step is a step closer to truth. And truth is what sets us free. In gratitude, I can speak these words and know they are true because they are in the law already, and the law always says yes. And we all say together, and so it is.